Hi, my name is Anthony Pauly. I'm a beekeeper here in central Vermont. I'm in the process of working on a project right now, and I'd like to show you why. All right, folks, I've got my hive tool ready. I'm going to go into my apiary and show you what's going on this winter. Why don't you follow along? All right, let's go check things out. It's been a while since I've been in here. Watch your step. This is March. The snow has just started melting. It's been an extremely cold winter this year. Had an average of 45 days this year below zero. The temperature swings have been really quite intense this winter. And because of the cold weather, I've actually lost quite a number of my hives, at least 2/3. And that's one of the things that I want to rectify. So I want to show you what it looks like when you open up a hive and it's dead. So this is what it looks like when you open up your hives in the spring and find a bunch of dead bees. This was an extremely strong hive, and it's one of the ones that I'm really surprised didn't make it. As you can see, they're all frozen. They've been dead for quite a while. In the middle of January, this hive was cooking along and there was a lot of bee activity. I could hear them moving around inside and they seemed pretty happy. A week later, I came out and they were gone. There was no noise anymore. And what I'm going to show you is what's actually going on inside here. Because they ran out of honey in this particular location, they crawled inside and you can see their little back ends sticking out. They've died. The reason why they've done this is because the weather extremes were so erratic that they get extremely cold, and when they're cold like that they can't move around and find honey locations, because that would mean they would have to break up the swarm. And here's the ridiculous part about this. When you look at this cluster, look at how much honey is on this frame. There's about 10 pounds of honey on this frame. They had plenty of food within reach. There's absolutely no reason they should have starved. The only reason why they starved is because they got too cold and they couldn't get a couple of inches away. I mean, this is 1 inch. They couldn't get just 1 inch or 2 inches away to get to this other honey. Otherwise, they would have made it. You can see there's more dead bees here. And when I pull off the top of this one, look, all these frames are full also. I mean, this whole box is full all the way down with honey. It's probably at least 100 pounds, if not more. There's no reason why this hive wouldn't have survived had I been able to control the temperature better. This is hive number 3. And once again, just like the other one, there's tons of bees at the top, and they're just all completely decimated. If I pull this hive apart, it's going to look just like this, or just like the other one. And each of these hives is just like that. For each hive I lose, that's a potential of about $200 to $300 in revenue each year, possibly more, depending on the amount of honey that I get from a hive. Now, to replace a swarm is going to cost me somewhere around $150 to $200. And what I'm going to show you next is what I did to remedy the situation for the remaining hives that I had left. This is what I've done this winter. Back in February, when the temperature was really cold, I just decided to take a risk and try something completely new. I put the remaining 6 hives that I have on a cart and I dragged them down here in the basement. The temperature down here is a relatively constant temperature. It's cold enough that the bees' activity is lower and they're not going to try to get out, but it's high enough so that they don't have to work quite as hard to keep themselves warm, which is one of the reasons why I lost the hives outside that I did. So as I was saying, the radical temperature swings stressed the hives out. They got clustered up into one small section, fed on all the honey ran out and they ended up starving. If I can control the temperature swings with the project that I'm working on by regulating the external temperature of the hives, by having inside an enclosed container, I can keep the temperature at a constant 38 degrees outside of the container, and that way the bees don't have to work so hard on the inside. There are a lot of stressors that bees are experiencing these days, between parasites, diseases, chemical exposure. Anything that we can do as beekeepers to make things easier for them in their transition through the seasons is going to go a long way preserving bees in our environment, so that agricultural negative agricultural effects don't occur.
Hello again. I hope you found the presentation informative. Doing our part to preserve the essential survival of the honeybee asks us to become educated, aware co-creators with our animal relatives. Honeybees are an important part of our Earth family. Even if you are unable to raise them yourselves, you can play an important and simple role by supporting local beekeepers, such as myself, as we work to educate the public and keep our passion alive. As we each do our part, step by step, we can continue to preserve the sacred relationship with a honeybee. Please share this video with your friends and family. And thank you so very much for helping me bring this dream to life.